MashaAllah, people are less in number and less excited about deen in general these days. I thought maybe it's a good opportunity to slowly talk about one of the topics that you've heard before, but again it needs constant reminders, constant, one of these controversial topics, okay? So bear with me please and open your hearts, listen carefully, think about the ayat of Allah Azza wa Jal and the hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and realize how important this topic is, please. My brothers, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives orders, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a design, whatever the design is, Allah's design is perfection, okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my brothers, He to teach us, to teach human beings and give us confidence and give us yaqeen and trust with the very, very little knowledge that we have, to give us trust about the ability and qudra and perfection of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this universe. Or else someone explain to me, why would Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala create such a universe with its, the measures, the measures of the universe, the units that we use to discuss the universe cannot be our day-to-day units, When we talk universe, we start talking light years. A light year, A light year is the time light which travels at a humongous speed. 300,000, I think, whatever, kilometers per second or meters per something like this, Ridiculous speed. Alright? Can you please tell this kid to shut up before I, do something? Just tell him all to leave. So imagine, my brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created such a universe, such vastness, for you to see a star glowing in the middle of the night, A star glowing in the middle of the night. For us, the star, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah's power is infinite, because Allah's qudra is infinite, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no boundaries, there's no limitations to what He wants to do. There's nothing called easy and hard. For the son of Adam, you say, brother, can you carry 100 kilograms? Oh, yeah, I think so. How about 200? Now you're really pushing it, maybe, no way I can't. Because you have boundaries. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not bound by His creation. Allah could have even created the universe 1,000,000 times bigger. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this vast universe liyubarhin, to just show the son of Adam, which most of this universe is beyond your capacity anyway. 90% of it you can't see. But Allah showed this universe to show you the level of detail Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates. What Allah can do. What Allah's ability is like. So Allah gave you the very big, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you the very small. Systems in perfection. A sun and a moon that never have an accident. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار. The sun, we don't wake up in the morning and find, oops, wallah, in the mechanics of the sun and the moon, there's a mistake that happened and they had a small, accident. I don't know. These accidents are for human beings. That's the design of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah showed you your own body. Look at your own body. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. If you don't understand the complexity of Allah's design, look at your own body. Your temperature, your body temperature is 37 degrees. Alright? If your body temperature becomes 38, what happens? No problem? No. You find yourself fever, tired, exhausted, can't, you want to lie down, 39, finished. The body, khalas, it has a temperature and it functions at this temperature. Any small change in the design Allah made, any small change, you take one medicine, wallah, you don't sleep enough. When you sleep, there's too much light on. Straight away you feel the consequences. Headache, sickness, pain, but you eat wrong. Diarrhea, toilet. Why? Because the system is very complex. Anything small, any small cell, one cell goes crazy. Trillions of cells in your body, all functioning by the day, around the clock, 24/7. You don't even know what's happening. Wallah, one cell goes wrong, and the son of Adam's life all changes. Cell gone crazy, and it's reproducing not with the normal rate. Cancer. Ya Allah, now he's crying. Now his life is ending. Now there's no more love of dunya. Now he doesn't care about, khalas. Now he doesn't want to buy a house. He's going to his grave. Everything changes. Because the systems of Allah are perfect. So Allah showed us the physical. Allah showed us with your eyes. Allah showed you a cycle of water. Sahab, clouds come, raindrops fall down, vegetation comes up, then this water goes back somehow, that came down, somehow trickles back into a river, and then back into a sea, and then evaporates again. Whoever created all this perfection, when he puts a design called Sharia, what do you think this design is like? What do you think Allah's design of society is like? These rules, these rules Allah made. This should happen, this shouldn't happen. Do this and don't do this. This design Allah put together, this Sharia. Do you think it's not like His other creation? Yani, astaghfirullah al-azim ya Rabb, do you think Allah perfected the universe, perfected the cell, perfected the atom, but when Allah designed Sharia, maybe some mistake happened, or his knowledge wasn't quite complete, or his experience with human beings is not enough, wal-'iyadhu billah. That's kufr. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this in the Quran. And this will be the introduction, our entry point to the controversial topic. Listen carefully. قال سبحانه وتعالى وما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة وما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون لهم الخيرة من أمرهم. Never, it does not work. It does not befit a believer, man or woman, male or female, mu'min or mu'mina. If your iman is good, if your iman is intact, whether male or female, it does not befit you. It contradicts your iman that when Allah and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam give a verdict, give direction, give an order, give advice, that you in your heart feel that now I have some sort of choice, that now I can choose this path or not choose it. As soon for a believer that believes a believer knows who Allah is. A believing man knows who Allah is. He knows Allah is perfect. He believes His design is perfect. He believes His knowledge is perfect. He believes His wisdom is perfect. Then Allah gives a verdict. Then Allah makes a law. And then you as a believer say, I don't know. I'm not very convinced. I find it I'm struggling with this order. This just naturally means what? It means that what you claimed of Iman, what you claimed before, that Allah is perfect, and I believe Allah is perfect, and I believe Allah's wisdom is perfect, and I believe Allah is not, it means you don't really mean this. You don't trust this. If you know who Allah is, it follows that when Allah says something, you have 1,000,000% yaqeen, not 100, 1,000,000% yaqeen that this is the haqq. And this is what is best for me. That's my happiness. That's my success. This is the way to go. There is no khilaf about it. Finished. There should be no doubt in your mind. If there is a doubt, or if you choose other options, this naturally means your iman is not intact. Your iman is not there. It's just words on that mouth, on your tongue. But really, in your heart, you don't trust, You don't trust this. You don't trust this designer. You doubt Allah's ability and Allah's qudra. This is the raw reality that you have to accept. As a Muslim, you have to accept this. That when you struggle with Allah's design, the problem is not Allah's design. The problem is where? The problem is in my faith, my iman, my knowledge of Allah. I don't know who Allah is. This is why I am. When you have someone you trust, Wallahi al-Azim, I'll tell you, it's very funny, I know. But human beings are like that with each other. Sometimes people come to me, okay? Who am I at the end of the day? Let's say, for example, I have some knowledge. Can you please give me where I stand in the scale, Omar Al Banna, one of the Mashaykh in Australia. What's his scale? If you understand knowledge of deen, we are not even on the scale. We don't get a mark. Amongst real ulama, amongst real Mashaykh and ulama that lived in the past, we don't get a mark. We are not considered students of knowledge. We don't qualify to be students of knowledge. If I lived, me with my knowledge, you say, oh, wallahi, this Sheikh, mashallah. If I lived 200 years ago, I will not qualify to be a student. The Sheikh will not allow me in his desk. Brother, please, this ilm is not for you. Go do something else, It's not for you. Maybe become a carpenter or something. Go work in dunya. It's not your field. So imagine when in our time someone comes and says this to Umar. Says to me, Sheikh, what do you think the ruling is in this mas'ala? All the time we get questions, Sheikh. What do you think, for example, the ruling is on this topic, this fatwa? What's the fatwa? So sometimes I say, brother, wallahi, wallah, for example, Imam Shafi'i said this, or Abu Hanifa said that. You know what people say? Very common. Oh, Sheikh, please don't say Abu Hanifa and Shafi'i and this and that, please. What do you follow? I go, brother, are you a donkey? Do you have any brains? Very simple. I am telling you that a Shaykh, a alim, that lived 1200 years ago, 12 centuries ago, gave this fatwa, gave this verdict, and millions of scholars after him followed him. And you want to leave all the history of the ummah, and you trust me? Some people maybe get happy, and some people when they hear this, oh Allah jazakallah khair, and can you give me a massage please or something, People, maybe some mashayikh would get happy with this comment that, someone, mashallah, trusts me so much. I see a donkey with ease, in front of me. I say, brother, you are not normal. The way you're thinking, something is wrong with your brain. What does my opinion have why does my opinion have any value to you? Why? I'm telling you, Imam Shafi'i said this. Now after I tell you this, you say to me, what's your opinion? Definitely something is wrong with your understanding of the. Something is, Wallah, I trust you, Sheikh. You tell me. La hawla wa la. Brother, your trust is based on a wrong foundation. You based your trust. Tell me, explain to me why you trust my knowledge. What was? someone told you, for example, wallah, this Shaykh is very, I'm telling you, there is no comparison. Or maybe, oh Allah, I dealt with this Shaykh and he has fear of Allah. Brother, I don't know how to I don't know how to explain to you the discrepancy. You know, the fusaq, the sinners of these times, the people that were considered that they have no deen. You know, this guy is a fasiq, will become the awliya of this time. You know, like they are the pious mashayikh of this time. You don't understand the drop that the ummah has went through. But khalas. So I want you to understand, if we have the ability to trust a human opinion that lives with you, a sheikh or a father figure or an elder, and say, you know what, wallah, I feel comfortable. You know what, wallah, the sheikh said this, and I'm with him. I believe him. So imagine when someone reads the Quran and hears something from Allah. Allah is giving a verdict, but it's not sitting well with him. What does that say about this person's knowledge of Allah? Does that person, does that lady, does that man know who Allah is? Wallah, they don't. Wallahi, if they did, wallahi, there will be zero doubt that this is the best thing for me. But why is there doubt? Why is there struggle? It's because we don't know Allah. We don't know how to deal with the unseen. Allah is foreign to me, unfortunately. Foreign, alien. That's the reality of our iman. But this Shaykh I can sit down, talk with. Wallah, we ate together, and I got familiar. But I don't know who Allah is, so I doubt Allah's sharia. I doubt Allah's design. So this, my brothers and my sisters, is our entry point. When you hear direction from Allah and His Prophet, there should be no doubt. We all agree at this introduction? Does it make sense to everyone here? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now, let's move to this topic. We live in such times, my brothers, of fitna and fasad and corruption. We live in times of misguidance. Not one misguidance. Not the ummah, wallah, has one mistake that is very apparent. No. We are living layers and layers and like an onion, layers and layers and layers of mistakes, sins and haram that has accumulated over 14 centuries. You know, we left this, then we left this, then we left this, and because we left this, we started leaving this and this. And because this haram entered our life, now this haram entered our life, and that haram, and there's a web of haram in our life in every direction you go. But especially sensitive is man and woman. This topic of man and woman, husband, wife, brother, sister, this topic is very, very sensitive in Sharia. Why? Because when we talk about ibadat, when we talk about salah, for example, let's say two brothers, they differ together in how to pray. Shafi'i school, Hanafi school. In the Shafi'i madhab, we say Ameen behind the Imam out loud. Hanafis, they don't say Ameen out loud. Okay? Some people, they get over emotional, you know. They get very, very upset. And he won't pray behind an Imam, for example. He'll say, oh my God, I prayed behind this Imam. He read Fatiha, I didn't say Ameen. A'udhu billah, I'll never pray behind him again. You know? Sometimes when a Shafi'i brother, like sometimes you'll be in India, for example, and you're the only Shafi'i in the masjid. And the Imam reads Fatiha and you say, Ameen. Wallahi, one time a brother looked at me. In Salah. What are you doing? You know? Why? For him, khalas, he grew up in India, for example, everyone around him is Hanafi. He never saw anyone saying Ameen out loud, and all of a sudden, Ameen. He left the Salah and started looking at me like, well, who's this guy? You know? What are you doing in Salah? Why? Because, but at the end of the day, when we differ in Salah, when we differ in rulings of zakat, rulings of fasting, these differences don't have much effect on our relations. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't affect your lifestyle. And then someone will say, brother, khalas, lakum dinukum waliya din, brother, pray as you, when you pray as you want. It It doesn't affect me. But when we talk about rulings of Sharia regarding male, female, now the topic becomes very, very, very edgy and sensitive. Why? Because it has to do with dealings. And dealings are not individual. Dealings are not individual. If you in the salah decide to move your finger like this or like that, who are you affecting? You only affect yourself. But if a female, for example, decides to have a certain dress code, or a man decides to live by a certain principle of no segregation, this affects what? Affects everyone around him. Everyone now is affected by this change. And that's why moon sighting is a very sensitive topic. Why is moon sighting a very sensitive? Not because people fear Allah. Wallah, they don't care. Majority of people don't care about Allah Azza wa Jal. They don't care about deen. It's very sensitive because it hit the social part of Eid. Because in Eid we socialize and we get happy and we go out together and if we're having Eid on a different day, oh my God, these mashayikh, brother, people are not worried whether you're breaking your fast in a day of Ramadan or you fasting one more day on the day of Eid. That's not the concern, because they have sin in their life anyway. That's not why the topic is sensitive. It's sensitive, why? Because it hit dealings. It hit mu'amalat. Now, Allah, man, do you believe it, brother? My son is not having Eid with me. I'm going to go kill that Sheikh in that Masjid, Why? Because this guy, mashallah, is very strict on deen, because he doesn't watch TV, because he's not smoking, because he's not falling in. No, he doesn't care. He just cares about the social aspect. So social rulings really, really, really affect us. They're very, very sensitive. And they're very hard to change. You can change the way you pray. No one will bother. If you go home now, alright, and when you pray, for example, change something in your salah, no father will get upset, no mother will get upset, your wife maybe will never even realize, your kids will not turn against you. But wallahi, if you change anything that has to do with the lifestyle, don't go there, don't even discuss this. Shh. Alas, that's how we live, that's how we are. This is why this topic, brother, please. Whoever is talking, please don't talk. This is why this topic of male, female, dress code, that is a very, very, very controversial topic. Should we mix? What level of interaction should I have with non-mahram women? It's fawda these days. Khalas. It's Shaitan did not win the war. Shaitan won the war before you were born. Yani, you are the third or fourth generation after Shaitan won the war. Do you understand? Yani, not you lost the war. No. You were born into occupation. Khalas? You were born into occupation. Khalas. This matter has been sealed. Alright? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed the Muslim society, He made certain regulations. That to us, this is a joke. It's when we talk about it, it's like a joke. Even people on deen, these were the good old days, but this is the Sharia. It's part of the design of Allah. You take one of the ingredients out of the design of Allah, what happens? What happens? One ingredient you take out of the design of Allah, like your body. What happens if you don't have, calcium in your body? One. Ya ammi, vitamin D and vitamin C and vitamin A and vitamin B. One element you lose in your body, straight away what? There's a trail of consequences that might lead to death. Oh, brother, he's short on iron. That's the big thing, your wife is short on iron, for example. Oh, Allah, let's go get iron infusion. There's shortage, because the body is like that. It's very sensitive. So imagine when you take not just one order of Allah, a chapter. There's a chapter of deen. Khalas. We were born into occupation. Let's not bring this topic up. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed the Muslim society, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed Allah's design that men are the ones outside the house and women are inside the house. I'm talking now back to basics. Alif, ba, ta, sha, A, B, C, Sharia. If you talk to a female, even your wife, don't try this at home because you will get hurt. Don't try it at home because you will get hurt. But if you talk to any Muslim woman about this simple Sharia principle, that women are where? Not one dalil, not one ayah, not two ayat, not three ayat. No. There's hundreds of adillah in the Quran and Sunnah that push in this direction. That the female should, as much as she can, stay where? Stay at home. Your place is home. This is why in the Quran, many times, the Arabic language is ajib. Many times in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the ownership of the house to the female in language. Even though the husband is really usually especially these days, who's the owner of the house? Who's the owner of the house? Usually the man. He's the bread earner. He's the house owner. Sah? The female, when he gets married, usually comes to his house. Correct? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, look, لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن. Women should not be, if a divorce happens, a female should not be asked to leave her house. Allah didn't say, لا تخرجوهن من بيوتكم. Allah should have said, don't take them out of your house, the man's house. Allah said, no, it's their house. وَلَا يَخْرُجْنَ إِلَّا أَن يَأْتِينَ They shouldn't leave and they shouldn't be taken out of their homes. Why? And many ulama of tafsir said, why does Allah keep saying بُيُوتِهِنَّ وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ? Even Rasulullah doesn't own his house. Stay in your home, female home. Why? Because the female place is the house. And men are outside. Who made this design? A misogynist. A man who wants to put women in jail. He enjoys female pain. He wants females to be locked up and never to see the light in a depressed, miserable, home. Unfortunately, this is the belief and the opinion of, your wife, without saying who you are, I'm telling you, there's a 99% chance this is her opinion. That, what do you mean stay at home? No. I stay at home depressed and you are out and about. No, that's not. Her problem is not with you. Her problem is not with the Sheikh. Her problem is with Allah. She is not convinced with Allah's design. That's the problem. This female has a problem with deen. She has a problem in her aqidah. Her aqidah, her iman, her faith is not intact. She does not understand who made this design. If she knew who Allah is, and she knew Allah said stay at home, she should be, then, never. I love my home. I don't want to leave my home. This is the mizaj and sentiment of Sharia. This is why in the authentic hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that the best place for a female to pray is where? Masjid? No, not her home, no. Not her home. في خدرها. في خدرها يعني in the most private place of her home. Where she changes her clothes. Where the Muslim female takes off her clothes. This is where the most reward she gets when she prays. Why? Why is this authentic hadith in the Sunnah? Rasulullah ﷺ hated women? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam wanted to lock up women and make a separation, a sexist separation between man and female. That's your prophet? That's the man you say I follow? That's the man you believe is one sent by Allah? This is the Rabb al-Alameen that you worship and make sujood to every day? People, unfortunately, they don't think to that level of detail. Just say, no. Me? Why should he be no. You stay at home. Wallahi, some women say, you pray in your bedroom. I'm out. I'm going out. But the husband in haram sometimes get, I didn't make this design. Wallah, it's not my design. It's Allah's design. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who said this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran this. He says this to the mothers of believers. The mothers of believers, my brothers, are who? Who are the mothers of believers? The wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imagine a lady that existed on earth that Allah selected and chose to marry Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What do you think of this lady? There was a man who used to speak about Aisha. Some people, unfortunately, Shia, they speak bad about Aisha. So, this man debating the Shia at the time, he asked them a very important question. He goes, I want to ask you a question. When you marry a lady, do you pray istikhara? When you marry a lady, do you pray istikhara? He goes, yeah, of course. He goes, and your istikhara is usually a bad istikhara. It's usually, you don't have any connection with Allah, your dua is not accepted in the first place. Allah wants to punish you probably in your marriage because of all the sin in your life. But imagine if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam makes istikhara and decides to marry a lady. What do you think of this selection? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam proposed to a lady, wanted to marry this lady. What does that say about who this woman is? Think, So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam like He chose Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Because why? Because these women will be what? Will be an example. They will be the bar that is set for all the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam after this. Every other female in the world, she can be like Rasulullah in certain things, but there's certain things that are for women. Where do women learn them from? How are Muslim women, half of the ummah, how is half of the ummah going to learn how to live? What to wear? What to do when they have women things, She can't look at, what does a female do when she has her period? You can't look at Rasulullah. He never got his period, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who do you look at? The mothers of believers. How do I dress? Mothers of believers. How should I interact? They are the bar. They are the standard. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran spoke to the mothers of believers and said this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. A clear, direct, emphatic. Wallahi al-Azim, no two Arabs will misunderstand. What does Allah mean here? No two Arabs will differ. Allah says what? قَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. It's a direct order that says what? Stay at home. Clear order, look. Stay at home. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. Stay at home. And then Allah says this after. وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. And don't have the tabarruj of the jahiliyyah, the pre-Islamic period. Laws have changed. The world has changed. Sharia has now come. Sharia, because hijab was not, at one stage, when Islam started coming, rulings are coming slow, little by little. Then migration to Medina. Now we have a Muslim society. Now the Prophet ﷺ has more than one wife. Now there's something called Al-Hujurat, the houses of Rasulullah ﷺ. So the orders are coming. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. Stay at home and don't do the tabarruj of the pre-Islamic period. What does tabarruj mean? Tabarruj. What does burj mean? We know burj because we're people of dunya. You know Burj Khalifa? You know Burj Khalifa? Oh, wow, look. MashaAllah, the Bedouins of the desert, they built a high-rise building everyone is talking about. MashaAllah, are you happy? These are the signs of the hour, Habibi. أن ترى الحفاة العراة العالة رعاء الشاة يتطاولون في البنيان. UAE built the tower, now Saudi wants to build a higher tower. The words of the Prophet ﷺ exactly. You know? You know Burj Khalifa. Why is a Burj called a Burj? Because a Burj is a high building that's apparent. It's a high building that is apparent. So in this short ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave two instructions. The first instruction is Al-Asl. The foundation is bloody, stay at home. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. Stay at home. If a female has to leave for her haja, for her need, sometimes no matter what, she has to go somewhere, she has to go to a female doctor, she has to leave sometimes. And if she leaves, وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا. Make sure you're not a burj. Make sure you're not apparent. You're not attracting attention. In, out. In, out. Go out, in. No one realizes. No one realizes. In the authentic hadith, the description that the women, some women of Sahaba, they used to pray Fajr in the Masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In the hadith, authentic hadith, in the narration, يخرجن تفلات لا يعرفن من الغلس. They used to, when women used to go out of their homes because of piety, because of deen at the time. First of all, no female took the middle of the road. No female, no. This is only in Australia and in the world now. No. Women walked always on the side. تفلات يعني أو متلفعات بمروطهن in the narration. Completely covered. ما يعرف. No one knows who came out, who came in. No one knows who left the house and who entered the house. This was the description of the environment of Medina. You want more dalil? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, one day, his wife Safiya radiyallahu anha, Safiya, his wife. One day, she came outside her room. She wanted to talk to her husband about something important. So he sallallahu alayhi wasallam stood with her outside her room, but two Ansar passed by. Hadith in Bukhari. Two Ansar passed by. Two men passed by. As soon as they saw the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam with his wife completely in niqab, what did they do? Hi, assalamu alaikum. Why don't you introduce me to your, is that Fulana? No, yeah, I'm Fulan. Yeah, how was your day? Good day, my sister in Islam. This is rubbish. Never happened. This only in our society. No. As soon as they saw the mother of belief, what did they do? They walked in the other direction. They moved away. So the Prophet ﷺ chased them. He left his wife and he chased them. قال على رسلك, come. Then when they, what's wrong? Did you do anything wrong, Rasulullah? فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم إنها صفية. This is Safiya, my wife. They all said, Subhanallah, Rasulullah, you don't have to defend it. We never assumed anything else. We never thought it was someone else. We know when we saw her, we clearly assumed she is one of your wives. فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الشيطان يجري من ابن آدم مجرى الدم. Shaitan is flowing in your bodies exactly like the blood in your veins. Shaitan wiswas. Maybe some thought will come. No, that's my wife. Innaha Safiya. Alright. Someone explain this incident in light of our lifestyle. Imagine I'm standing with my wife outside here in the masjid. I'm talking to her, and two of the boys are leaving the masjid. Soon as they see me, they run. Brother, why are you running? No. Oh, Shaykh wife, yeah. And then I come to you and I say, oh, this is my wife, Fulana. This story does not make any sense in our time. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because, Habibi, not only we mix, not only our women don't wear niqab, not only our women are dressed inappropriately and our men don't care about it. No. We have left this lifestyle centuries ago. We're in La La Land. We live our own life. We don't want this part of deen. This chapter of deen is not in our syllabus. It's not part of our life. We don't want it. We want another lifestyle. The lifestyle of, actors and actresses and. Anyway. So, the mothers of believers were ordered to stay at home. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. When the mothers of believers traveled, they didn't, you think, you hear, the Prophet ﷺ, him and Aisha radiallahu anha were traveling together. How cute, how romantic. Habibi, when Aisha radiallahu anha traveled, she was in a hawdaj. You know what a hawdaj is? When you see these old Arabian Aladdin and these movies, and you find the Amira, whatever, the princess of the time traveling in they put a house, a room on the camel. Not only she's wearing niqab, no. She gets completely covered in a tent on the camel. Extremism. Misogyny. This is very, 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 you're choking me, you're handcuffing me, you're Habibti. I did not design this. Your problem is not with me. Wallah, I'm innocent. Your problem is with your creator. You don't like Allah's design. You don't like Allah's system. You don't like Allah's sharia. You don't like the Prophet's sunnah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You have a problem with Allah's design. You need to go revise your aqidah. And then we can come and talk. I can't talk to you at this level. I can't talk to someone that's not convinced by Allah's design. You can say maybe, wallah, I'm very far. And this is a normal conversation. A female can say, look, wallah, I've been corrupted. My heart is corrupt. My parents never taught me this. I'm very, very far away from deen. My fitrah, my nature has been mutilated completely. I'm completely off. I need time to realign myself. But I'm convinced with Allah's design. That's a decent person you're talking to. But someone says, I'm not convinced by, isn't this too much? Allah does too much. The Prophet ﷺ is the definition of moderation. When we learn moderation, where do we learn it from? We learn it from Rasulullah ﷺ. If this is how his wife's dressed, how his wife acted, this is moderation. This is the definition of moderation. But you are an extremist on the other side. That's why you find this foreign and alien, this lifestyle. It's not, you never lived it, you don't understand it, it doesn't make sense to you. So first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the women to stay at home as much as they can. Even in fiqh, wallah al-azim, in fiqh, if you read any madhab, Maliki madhab, Shafi'i madhab, you find very, very, very weird sentences. The other day I was revising a mas'ala, and then this paragraph popped up. Ajib, I'll just share it with you, The mas'ala was about shahada. Let's say, for example, a Muslim judge, imagine a judge in court. You're a judge in court. And there's a witness in your case. There's a witness in my case. Alright? But this witness is a female. Let's say there was a theft or a murder. I studied the case, and who's the witness? The witness is a female. What does the judge, as a Muslim judge, do? We call this lady, and she comes to court, and she testifies, correct? Nearly every madhab has this condition. Look at the condition. Goes, the judge is allowed to ask a female to come to court. Alright? In كانت بارزة. When we study madhab, بارزة. What? بارزة. What do you mean امرأة بارزة? بارزة means an appearing wife. Appearing wife? An appearing lady. You read the shuruh, the explanation. Sheikh say, women are divided in society these days, are divided into two types. There's the elderly lady in her 60s, in her 70s, khalas, she's old. When women reached old age, the Sharia, the design of Allah, allowed these women at that age to become a bit more flexible. She can leave her home. It's not a problem. Why? Because she has no effect on society. She's an old lady, خلاص. لا يرجون نكاحا. She's not after marriage. Neither she is after marriage, nor anyone will see her and feel like any interest. These women, امرأة بارزة, خلاص she can go to court and testify. But look at the word. But if the lady is مخدرة, المرأة المخدرة, يعني the covered lady, the young covered lady that, women like her should not leave their home. What happens in the Islamic Sharia system? The judge leaves the court and goes to her house. The judge leaves the court and goes to the Muslim lady's house to take her testification. Why? How am I going to ask this pious private lady to leave her home? We can't. We have to respect this woman. I'll go to her house. That's the adab of qada. I told you we live in a different world. We live in in a different world. No. He will come. As if I'm going to ask a Muslim lady that's completely covered to just leave her home like that and come and sit in court and stand in front of witnesses and men. No way. I would never accept that for my daughter. I would never accept that for my wife. We will go from behind the veil and we'll ask her the question. This was the Sharia. This was the habit of qada in Islam. That's how the judge acted. So, the female should stay at home. And if she leaves, she has to take as much precaution as she possibly can to cover herself completely. Not just cover herself physically. Deen, Islam does not only say, Wallah, wear niqab. No, you are in kindergarten. Deen didn't say wear niqab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا. Don't appear. She has to hide as much as she can when she leaves. Niqab, side of the road, in, out. Attract the least attention possible. But in Islam, that's not the purpose of women dress code when they leave their house. What makes a female, what makes your wife, what makes your sister, what makes your daughter choose a certain type of clothing before she leaves? People don't choose clothing to hide. They choose clothing to appear. She wants to appear. She wants to attract attention. She wants to look good. She wants to be distinct. This is why women hate niqab. Because niqab cancels women's identity. Very common. People say, I can't do niqab. Why can't you do niqab, habibti? I feel like, it's choking, it's suffocating. No one is trying to suffocate you. This is Allah's design. We want you to stay in your house. If you leave your home, you should leave completely covered. In, out, attract the less people see you, the better. They asked Fatima radiallahu anha, Sayyidat Nisa Ahl al-Jannah, the leader of women in Jannah, the daughter of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is the best thing for a female? Fatima radiallahu anha said, ألا ترى الرجال ولا يراها الرجال. That she doesn't see men and men don't see her. Finished. That's a female wish. That's Fatima radiallahu anha's wish. Think how you and Fatima radiallahu anha are foreign from each other. Think now, knowing this sentence, how your wife and Fatima radiallahu anha think differently. She doesn't want to see a man, doesn't want a man to see her. Our women, no way. She's married. She has a tashtush at home, mashallah. But how about my image in society? What image, habibti? Yeah, this is why women hate niqab. Because niqab, what does it do? Proper niqab, when I say proper veil, proper hijab, that doesn't show the female body. It's not that material that's being used now. She's wearing niqab, but she's not wearing. She might as well be naked. You know? Tight abaya, tight niqab, all her fitan are showing, all her body parts are clearly apparent, the shape, the size, everything. You can see everything. What niqab are you wearing, habibti? Are you lying to me or lying to Allah Azza wa Jal? Every man can see you. You can see the fat niqabi, they can see the thin niqabi, you know. You think the brothers are not looking? Oh no, alhamdulillah, brother, wallah, when we go to the masjid, we're sure all the brothers are not checking us out. Do you live in Lala? Where are you living? Are you with us on this earth? Especially at the mosque, you're being checked out. Every man that sees a female, 99.9999999% is checking her out. Especially the longer the bead. The longer the bead, the more he's checking you out. The longer the bead, take my advice. The longer the bead, the more he's checking you out. But it's just the difference in the checkout, you know. The jahil, he does that. Oh my God, what's that? You know, because he doesn't care about his image, you know. But the religious brother, he's checking it out also. But he's like, A'udhu billah, man, astaghfirullah azim. Women these days, man, wallahi, they're causing fitna on earth, man. Sister, do you need any help, sister? MashaAllah. He's very decent, very polite, MashaAllah. He saw a lady, he didn't think of anything, MashaAllah. She's exactly like his sister, Tabarakallah. These men don't exist. They're not on earth these days. Alright? Unless he's from, our... unless he's on the other side of the rainbow. If he's on the other side of the rainbow, okay, khalas. But if he's a man, I'm telling you now, time of fitna, time of fasad, he is checking you out. So imagine if she's not in niqab and she reveals more than what she should. Alright? He's not just looking at you. He's eating you with his eyes. You are a meal. You are a meal. Now women will say, oh Shaykh, wallahi, this, that. We asked mashayikh, and you are an extremist, misogynist that hates women. But we asked other mashayikh and they said that niqab is not fard. There's some respected and renowned mashayikh that said that niqab is not an obligation. Why are you making deen so hard? This is why, because of these fitan, because of these controversies in the history of the ummah and this and that, I tend to, when I speak about this topic, I tend to avoid the debate. Let's not enter the debate too much, because I will tell you my mashayikh, you will tell me a few big names that said that niqab is not fard, and then the debate is going to enter this ugly, point where is my Sheikh more knowledgeable than your Sheikh, or is your Sheikh more knowledgeable than mine? Let's not go there. All right? Let's talk logic. We are not going to speak mashayikh. We're not going to speak ilm. I'm going to talk to your heart. I'm going to speak to you about logic. خلاص? Simple. And I'm not talking to the men here in front of me and the women that are upstairs because I believe that you're going to leave this talk and tabarakallah, change will happen in your life. I am telling you this because if it's too late to fix your life, your wife, it's definitely not too late to fix your children. My hope, honestly, I'll be very, very honest with you. I have no hope in you. I'm sorry. It's sad, but I'm very, very honest. I don't have much hope in this generation. Why? Because you were born into fitna. You know? You've seen with your eyes too many women. What I'm saying to you now is like exactly someone from Mars talking to someone from Earth. We are talking different languages. But maybe if I can convince you of the danger your children are in, maybe it's not too late to save your children. So sisters upstairs, please don't get offended. If you don't wear the niqab, if your niqab is a fashion niqab and you have the niqab fringe, or you're wearing your niqab and a Chanel bag, and you're driving a WRX, or something, I'm telling you now, I'm not addressing you. Don't get upset. I'm talking because there's hope that maybe you will work on your kids. Let's try and save some of the next generation who will grow up in a society, maybe they never saw niqab in their life. This is the success rate of shaitan. Shaitan, imagine, took the ummah. Look at the success. He took the ummah from 100% niqab, from Spain in the west to China in the east, Kashgar. This broad. Only a few hundred years back, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahmatullah has a very famous saying. The Sharh of Bukhari, the one who explained Bukhari, the famous Sharh, biggest Sharh in any library. Okay? Ibn Hajar spoke about niqab. He spoke about the khilaf and the tiny nitty-gritty details that the ulama go through, fard or sunnah, and this, is futile debate. And then he said this. He said, وَلَمْ تَزَلْ. So he's saying, it's a very, very funny saying. This after a long debate about niqab. He said this at the end, this is the seal. قال ولم تزل عادة النساء المسلمات قديما وحديثا يعني before and now modern يسترن وجوههن عن الأجانب. He's basically saying, look, we can sit down and debate whether it's fard or sunnah, but alhamdulillah, women back and now, until now, in the ummah of Muhammad, all of them, they cover their faces in front of strange men. So he did not just pass on to us the debate. He passed on to us the factual habit of the time. I'm telling you now, look at history up until 100 years ago. 100 years ago, it was impossible that you will walk on a Muslim street and see a female showing her face. Unheard of. Impossible. 13 centuries. 1,300 years. No Muslim female walked on the street showing her face. This jilbab, this hijab business is an innovation. It never existed in the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. It wasn't there. Not just Muslims, Christians and Jews. Masihiyya. If you look at any old picture, Christian women covered their face. Jewish women covered their face. This is the modern times. That's the war that was lost, and you are born in a haram. You are the victim of you are in the aftermath of society. Khalas, Mordor controlled earth. You are in the after the occupation. Shaitan khalas has laid his eggs and they've hatched everywhere. It was unheard of that a female shows her face in Muslim. This is a narration of fact, not a debate. This is the ummah. Women, no female shows her face on the street, alhamdulillah. So we can sit down and debate, but as a fact, it doesn't exist. And please don't get upset. Please don't get upset. In Egypt, all right, when women talk a lot, when women wanted to completely tarnish a female's reputation, up to very, very recent. This is in our language, like in our lingo. Aussie say, "G'day, how are you?" When women in Egypt, when they wanted to tarnish a female's name, her reputation, this lady, no one should marry her, no one should get involved with her. You know what is the word that they used? What's the descriptive word that they used? They used to say, "Dimra'a, this is kashfa ushah." This is a female that shows her face on the street. Yani, you know the S word? You know the S word in our lingo? She's This was the description used 100 years ago. That's women say, this lady, drop her, forget about her. She's an S. She shows her face on the street. What do you mean show her face on the street? All our women show their face on the street. That's the description. Why? Unheard of. Read history. When الحملة الفرنسية, when Napoleon came to occupy Egypt, 1798, France occupied Egypt for 3 years. We call it in history الحملة الفرنسية. The French invasion, whatever you call it, the French occupation. They occupied Egypt for 3 years, up to the year 1801. Okay, 3 years. When Napoleon came, he came with, the Europe, the strength, the civilization, the scholars, the Western civilization. And some women, naturally speaking, we lost, we humiliated, we occupied. Some women started mixing with the French. And there's a very, very, very famous, it's not a good incident, but it just shows you what happened in society, how much society changed. This lady was a Sheikh's daughter. She got affected by the French, and she walked on the streets of Cairo without a niqab. You know what they did to her? They burnt her alive. Jahiliyyah, we're not promoting. Because some people say, the Sheikh is saying burn the women alive. English language. I'm just trying to show you, explain to you how much society has changed. The same people, the juhal, the idiots that could not handle seeing a Muslim female walk on the street showing her face, now his wife is on Facebook. Not showing her face to a few men on the street. She's showing her face to the world. And the tashtush is beside her. He's on the profile with her. Men, this is my wife. Look how beautiful. And then on the comments, I'm so proud of you, my angel. You are my support, and you are my this. Do you think men, when they look at your wife's profile, they thinking, MashaAllah, what a good sister. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless their family. Please tell me, what's the first thing you think when you see a female profile on Facebook? This was very fitrah. That was very raw, I'm telling you now, Sheikh or Frère, everyone that sees your picture, the first thing he does is check you out. She's hot. Wallah, he scored good. Lucky bastard. You know, well, I'm telling you now, these are the comments you hear. Huh? Well, she's ugly to you. Yeah, but she's ugly to you, صح? You see a female and you find her, astaghfirullah al-azim ya Rab. May Allah Azza wa Jalla help him. He should hide her, you know? You think that. But Imam Al-Azhar rahmatullah alayhi's famous saying, قال لكل ساقطة في الحي لاقطة. The lady that you see ugly and unattractive, for another man, that's the pinnacle of beauty. This is the problem. You know? I don't want to. It's already an ugly topic, but it's truth, okay? I'm an import, for example. Imports are known, like we come from Egypt. Everyone has a tan, from the president to the, you know, everyone is brown, nearly, you know. That's the common thing in society, you know. You come from Bangladesh, you come from Pakistan. Usually, the color is brown. So what's attractive for us usually? I'm saying, of course, everyone's different, but what's attractive for us? Wallah, you know, blonde, blue eyes, white, you know. This is why in Bangladesh, very, very common, you know. In Pakistan, in India, they want white. Why? Because everyone's brown. Khalas? African men die for white women, because that's what's, you know, this is... Look, we can sit down and sugarcoat things, it's just fact, okay? This is the fact. When I came to Australia I'm walking, you know, the brothers took me to the shopping center first time. One of the boys took me. And then, astaghfirullah al-azim ya Rab, I said, brother, what the hell is this? Get me out of here. Fitna, 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 everywhere you look, especially if you go to the city, wherever, it's all, you know, fitna, 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 you don't know where to look. I go, brother, please let me away. And I'm telling you Allah. And the brother is, this was when I had Imam, you know, that's why I was. The brother was beside me saying, what's wrong with you? They're all white, yak. I looked at him, Wallah, what do you mean they're all white? He was yak. As if I would never marry a white chick. What are you normal? What do you mean? He was, no. She has to be dark. She has to be brown. What happened? In Australia here, there's a lot of, you know, what? They want brown. You want white, they want brown. If you read poetry, Islamic poetry, alright? Ghazal. Read Jahiliyyah, alright? They used to look down upon thin women. Any female that was thin was ugly. You read the Sha'r Jahili, you know, not Islamic Sha'r, not Islamic poetry, pre-Islam. When they wanted to praise a female beauty, you know, Ghazal. Say, oh, this lady, tabarakallah, she's so fat, she's so big. I'm telling you poetry. Tamshi al-Huwayna, you know, Allah, when she walks from her home to her neighbor's home, it takes her 1 hour. That's how fat she is. Oh, Allah. And we're students of knowledge and we're studying this and we're saying, are you like, what's wrong with you, you know? And he's describing the details of her fatness, you know? What? Khalas. Subhanallah, beauty is something that's very personal. What you see is hot and amazing and attractive. Another guy looks at and says, sorry, not for me. You know? What this brother sees attractive for you is, brother, what happened to your taste? Allah Azza wa Jal created variety in women and variety in men. So you think, well, my wife is average. That's for you. But there's a guy on Facebook with an account who's looking at your wife and he sees hur'in. He is seeing your wife and saying, Allahu Akbar, wow, what a machine, what a this, what a that. He ate her with his eyes. And you know, my wife. I present to you my wife. You know? Who wants to have a free look? Bismillah. You don't have to come sneak into my house. No. I will personally present my wife to you. What happened to the fitrah? The fitrah died. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. The nature of men changed. The nature of women changed. This chapter, Shaitan khalas killed. So I'm not going to talk to you about ayat and this and that. I can, but we don't have time, and you're busy, I'm busy, you know. If you read, you will find maybe, I'm telling you now, adilla galore, evidence galore, alright? But we're going to talk logic. Khalas? Simple, heart-to-heart logic. Can I ask you a question, brother? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make hijab fard on a female? Why? You as a man, you know, when you go home, say, oh, has to wear the hijab. You know? Why do women cover up? Can you explain to me what is the purpose of a female covering up? Such a big chapter in Deen with all these rulings and ahkam and, you know, do's and don'ts. Why? Why did Allah Azza wa Jal order Muslim women to cover up? Regardless of the style of covering up now. Why is there covering up? Why is this order there? Some women say it shouldn't be there in the first place. She can wear what she wants. And men have to just lower their gaze. But Allah is the designer. Allah is the creator of man and woman. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants society to function in a certain way. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed this desire in man for a woman, He ordered the female to cover up because Allah does not want. Allah wants to limit and Allah wants to control this interaction. It should be only under the umbrella of marriage. It should be with a lady that you're not married to or a non-mahram. It should be taken down to a bare minimum of formality and seriousness. This is Allah's design. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the women to cover up. So some people say, okay, yeah, we wear the hijab. The hijab does not make sense. It does not make sense. Are you telling me, sister, that it's very haram for you? It's a no-go agreed upon amongst mashayikh that no one should see your heel. The heel, a'udhu billah. La, you have to cover the heel. Heel is fitna. The heel will cause massive problems in society. Hey, a'udhu billah. Sister, your hair is showing, cover your hair. But subhanallah, we're going to leave the face showing like that, glowing. Because the face doesn't cause that much problem on society. But hair will make men fall on the street or on the side of the road when you walk, you know? What is more attractive? What causes more fitna? A female's heel, a female's knee, a female's elbow. So sister, you know? When you want to go marry a lady, a man wants to get married. He wants to go marry a lady. This lady is not very religious, you know? And then he says, I want to see the lady I'm going to marry. I want something. I want to make sure that there's acceptance. So the lady says, you know what? Don't worry about the face. I'll show you my elbow. Take it. Huh? You marry her? Imagine a brother sends to another brother, wallah, I have a hot chick, mashallah, ripe for marriage, great woman. Send me a picture. He sends me a picture of her elbow. What do you reckon? Yes or no? I want to see her face. Why the face? Because brother Habibi, you know, I know, every decent, logical human being knows that the face of the female is the most beautiful thing about her. This is why every man wants to see the female face. He wants to see her face. He wants to see the lady he wants to see what he's going to look at all day, all night. That's her face. It's the most attractive thing about a female. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to say, the hair is no. If I show you a female's hair, and what happens? Yeah? If I give you this option, okay. You want to marry a lady, I can show you her hair, or I can show you her face. What do you choose? Face or hair? Because hair or face? Brother, I'm marrying this lady, I want to see her face. You know, I know, everyone knows. The female knows. Even the sister knows. She knows face is the most beautiful thing. It's the most attractive thing. All right? Of course, there's other things in the female that are attractive. We're not stupid. All right? We know that. But face is very, very, very important in this attraction between men and women. Very important. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Rabbul Alameen is gonna ban the female from showing her hair, from showing her wrist, her elbow, from showing her knees and heels. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna say, but your face, mashallah, please, share with all society. This is Allah's design? Okay. If this is Allah's design, I ask you by Allah, you as a human being, not as a Muslim, religious, forget about all the Sharia. When you see a hijabi, jilbabi, beautiful sister, mashallah, walking from her car to Masjid Noor, what happens to the boys in our area?
Lowering the gaze?
Who lowers the guys?
No.
They extinct.
This is the order.
I'm not saying what happens. I'm asking about fact, not fiction. What you're saying, lower the gaze, is fiction. In Ramadan, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I can't remember, One brother, he's not married, alright? He's in i'tikaf ya haram last 10 days of Ramadan. Soldiering on, salah, tahajjud, this, that. After, between every 2 rak'at, he goes and have a cigarette outside. So, one of the sisters came to pray. This sister was married. But she's wearing what? She's wearing a jilbab. So the brother is having a smoke. He saw the sister in jilbab. What happened? Chemical reaction straight away. He couldn't hold himself. Why? Why couldn't he hold himself? As attraction. Huh? Yeah, he saw her elbow. He saw her face. He couldn't help himself. He's not married. He wants to get married. So he approached the sister and said, "Sister, are you married?" She said to him, "Yes, I am married." So I can't remember now what happened. I think he made like he made like a gesture with his face and or something, around, something like that. Or he said, I can't remember, I think he said something.
He said your husband's very lucky.
Oh, he said your husband's very lucky. Ya Baba. We're praying tahajjud and all we hear is a brawl outside the masjid. Punching on, this, that. The sister's husband came to the masjid, of course. She told him what happened. He came to the masjid. Who spoke to my wife, this, that. Long story, big problem in Masjid Noor. And then I grabbed the brother after. I grabbed him after. After the thing settled down, I go, brother, you're in i'tikaf, go, Sheikh, you're right. You have every right to say what you said. I couldn't hold myself. Don't worry about what's right and what's wrong. Take raw information. The fact of the matter is, the lady is attractive. And the brother was attracted. This is exactly why women put niqab on. Because Allah wants, when the female leaves her home, comes back to her home, He doesn't want any man to get attracted. He doesn't want this attraction. This is what we want to stop. That's the purpose of hijab. Once, similar story. I was in a restaurant eating with one of the brothers. This is when I first came to Australia. His name is Abdul. There's a million Abduls, so no need to... His name is Abdul. I'm sitting down with him, we're eating. We were in a Thai restaurant. I'm sitting like this, and the brother is sitting like this in front of me. Alright, we're enjoying our Thai food, and then all of a sudden, this brother, religious brother, this Abdul here, he dropped the fork and knife on the plate very loud. God. I said, "Khair brother, what happened? He said to me, oh my God, shoot me, Sheikh, shoot me. I go, shoot you? What happened, brother? Khair, what happened? Did you choke on food or something? Oh my God. One sister walked in, sat on a table, and this guy, full jilbab, 10 out of 10 in his eyes. She's 10 out of 10. That's my dream girl, Sheikh. And he sat for the next half an hour. What do I do? What do I do? Eating her with his... I go, brother, please, brother. Maybe he goes, Wallah, I want to marry her. Wallahi, I'll go talk to her right now. I go, brother, maybe she's married. Khalas, Sallah al Nabi. He left his food. Half an hour eating the sister with his eyes. And then he goes, Sheikh, I can't handle it anymore. I'm going to go talk to her. He got up, he went, and he spoke to the sister, and he asked her if she's married. Turns out what? She is married. Not only she is married, turns out, I know her husband. I know the husband. So the incident finished, everyone walked away. She didn't cause any fitna. She didn't go tell her husband what happened. But I went home that night thinking, I go, subhanallah, this husband at home, this man, macho at home, he doesn't know that his wife was being eaten for half an hour. Half an hour, a strange man is eating this girl with good intention. He wants to get married. But what's available? She revealed herself to the public. This, my brothers, is very logical. You have to accept. You don't need to be a sheikh. You don't need to study Bukhari. You don't need to learn the four madhahib. You have to accept that if your wife, if your daughter, if your sister is not in niqab, properly covered, men on the street are eating her. Don't get upset. That's what you've allowed. They're checking her out. They're sussing her out. They are amazed by her beauty. This beauty, Allah designed for you at home. You should look at this at home. The female should have haya, like the mothers of believers exactly. I'll share with you only one verse. Allah said this. When Allah gave the order for hijab for the mothers of believers, Aisha, Salama, Zainab bint Jahsh radiyallahu anha, when Allah revealed the verse of hijab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُنَّ مَتَاعًا فَاسْأَلُوهُنَّ مِنْ وَرَاءِ حِجَابٍ. If you want to talk to the mothers of believers, to the normal men, if you want to talk to the mothers of believers, you have to ask them from behind the veil. You have to ask them from behind the veil. No problem. Someone can say, khalas, this is a ruling for the mothers of believers, but Allah said this. ذَلِكُمْ أَطْهَرُ لِقُلُوبِكُمْ وَقُلُوبِهِمْ. This is more pure for your hearts and their hearts. Explain Allah's words to me. Allah's talking about the highest level of iman in women. The purest women on earth selected and chosen for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the purest iman in men. Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. A sahabi, Jaleel, Allah chose to be in the companionship of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, talking to the mother of believer, Aisha. Not only Aisha as Rasulullah's wife, she's his mother. She's a mahram. It's haram for them to marry them. Haram. She's a mahram. She's your mom. And Allah says, when you talk to Aisha, it has to be from behind the veil. Why? Why Abu Bakr? Why Umar? Why Aisha? Why? ذَلِكُمْ أَطْهَرُ لِقُلُوبِكُمْ وَقُلُوبِهِنَّ. This is more pure for their hearts and your hearts. What is Allah teaching us about human beings? What's Allah saying? You talk to a female, she's showing you her face. It is not in your control. It is not in your hands. Even if you are a very pious brother, even if she is a very pious sister, this is out of human control. You see a female, you get attracted. So imagine if a Muslim man got attracted to the Prophet's wife. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. What happened to this guy? Imagine if the mother of believers married to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got attracted to a strange man. ذَلِكُمْ أَطْهَرُ. It's more pure for your hearts and their hearts. That's Aisha and Umar, Salama and Abu Bakr. So imagine Battikh and Ballut. No, me and my sisters in university, we've created, mashallah, a group called the MSA together. And wallahi, Shaykh, we have kept it very, very, very sincere, very, very, very polite. No one crosses the boundaries. What boundaries are you talking about? You want to go against Fitrah. You see a female, you get attracted. You can't help it. She sees a man she likes, she gets attracted. She can't help it. Maybe you can control yourself. Yes, maybe you're not going to grab her and kiss her in public. This does not mean that damage is not done. Damage is done just by looking at each other. This is why قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ. Men should lower the gaze, women should lower the gaze. Order of Allah. But we don't want Allah's design. No, wallahi, Shaykh, she's like my sister. She's not your sister. You think she's your sister, she's not. She's either your sister or she's not your sister. She's a foreign lady. You cannot guarantee no attraction. What you don't like, other men like. You know? What she doesn't like, she maybe doesn't like one style. She'll like another style. Okay? This is the fact. That's raw knowledge that we all know. And that's why women put makeup on. Explain to me, what does women put makeup on? Some sisters in hijab, not only she's showing her face, she shows her face and then she wants to add more decoration. And then you ask her, sister, why are you doing this? Oh, I like it. Kazzab of asl wishik, you're a liar. You want people to like it. You want other men, you want to, let's see. That's why men look after themselves, and that's why women look after themselves, not because, wallah, I like it. Kazzab, you're a liar. We want to appear in society. We want to attract. You know, oh, mashallah, good looking man. Good look. You know, women love when men get attracted. That's their nature. That's her fitrah. But this should be for her husband only. Her beauty is not for sale. It's not for every Tom, Dick and Harry to check her out. But no, some married women, they still want this attraction. Some married men allow the women to walk on the street like that. Who's to blame, Habibi? You are to blame. You have no ghira. You don't mind other men checking your wife. I'll tell you a funny story. And I'm going to shut up, khalas. I had a friend of mine, he's called Islam. Alright? Back in Egypt. My man. We were raw on deen. He was your average modern Egyptian, you know, new on deen also, just starting. And I was a bit more, you know, hardcore, exposed to niqab and this and that. And we were having the niqab hijab debate. He goes, nah, I think niqab is a bit too much, you know. I debated, I explained, he wouldn't listen. One day this happened. One day he got engaged. So when he got engaged, he was telling me the story. Oh, alhamdulillah, I met this sister, mashallah, khalas, we asked for her hand. She's my fiancée now. I go, now is my chance. Look, sometimes I'm like a devil when it comes to debating, you know. He said, now is my chance. I was young. I said to him, Islam, you got engaged? He goes, yeah, mashallah. I go, is she good looking? Egypt, you know. What are you on about? I said to him, please, can I see her? Oh, no, Omar, don't joke about these things. Allah, I'll get you. I go, brother, I'm like any other man on the street. What's wrong with you? She's not in niqab. There's 50 million men in Egypt. You don't mind them seeing your wife. Can I see her too? He goes, but don't put her like that, you know. I go, put her like that or put her like this. Everyone sees her. I want to see her too. He goes, no, you can't see her. I go, why? Why can't I see her? I promise you will be only one look, halal look. I'm not going to stare, you know. I kept poking him. Guess what? 1 week his wife was in the niqab. 1 week. He goes, no way. That was once. There was once one brother here in Australia. Again, Lebanese brother. Very, very funny brother. Again, I had this debate with him, niqab fard or sunnah, you know. And then one day we're sitting in his house and we're sitting in there. He had like a front yard, all right? He had a front yard. And we're doing a class of hadith. We're doing a hadith class. This is 2005, you know? We're doing a small hadith class in his front yard. And like he knows, we've had the debate, we've had the discussion, you know? And his wife was not in niqab. And then there's like 5-6 boys sitting, we're all studying deen. And we are, inshallah, no one's going to check out his wife. Yani, we are all going to check her out, but yani, no one is going to check her out, like, you know? And then we're sitting in the front yard, and there's a garage door, all right? And his wife was coming in the driveway, driving the car. All of a sudden, he heard the car coming. I'm telling you. He's a very, very fun look. He jumped like Superman. I don't know how he got the energy. He jumped like that. He grabbed the garage door and closed it. And then when he did this, all of us fell laughing. Oh, brother, what's wrong? It was my wife. I go, so what? Your wife came. Everyone in Sydney saw your wife. She was in Woolies. Every single Muslim, non-Muslim, Kalb, anyone checking out your wife. How come now all of a sudden only the religious brother you don't want to see your wife? I don't know. Khalas, you say Allah. It's fitrah. It's nature. The female knows it. The man knows it. It doesn't need much sharia. You know, what you don't want for yourself, you don't want for others. You know, very, very, very simple. Like you don't want anyone to check out your wife. You know, check out your daughter, your sister. No one likes that. Why are you exposing them? Why are you allowing this to happen? Accept the Sharia of Allah. Then we enter the field of, oh yeah, but it's very hard. But it's nearly impossible. But there's no support. But you know, all this rubbish, uqsim billah, does not change anything in the Sharia of Allah. Wallah, this is not going to benefit you. Sister, every single man who's checking you out on the street, guess what? You are taking sin for him checking you out. Every single time a man checks your wife out, guess who's getting sin? The tashtosh. You are. Because you could not have enough ghira and deen to cover your wife on the street. You allowed her for public viewing. Okay? Please, every husband, every man, every woman should endeavor, at least lowest rank of iman, is that a male should endeavor to bring, we're not going to say fard, the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in our lives. Sunnah. Isn't it sunnah? Don't you say it's sunnah, not fard? Okay, we're going to accept for argument's sake it's sunnah. What does that mean? Sunnah means what? Sunnah means optional. That's sunnah. Sunnah means deen. That's the deen. That's the advice we received from Rasulullah. Sunnah means, okay, if you can't do it now, habibti, when? Do you need 1 year? You need 6 months? What's the plan? Show me a plan. Okay, you can't wear niqab straight away. No problem. Why don't you try it? Some women, shaitan made this idea very, very strong, you know? And look, someone said, oh, do you know why I don't wear niqab? Why habibti? Why ayuni? She goes, because I don't want to put the niqab on and then take it off. I want to make that decision and make that step and never return again. Shaitan got you. Who said that? No problem. Just try out the niqab. If the opinion that niqab is fard is true, you're in big trouble. So if you decrease the men seeing you by X amount, it's better for you, you know? If you wear the niqab, let's say to the shops only to the shops. Alhamdulillah, sister, you're doing a step, you know? Of course, it's better to put it on full time, but if you can't, at least when you go to Woolies, when there's 1 million men standing outside checking every woman that walks in and out. When you go to the masjid, you're going to the house of Allah to listen to a lecture or pray salah or something. At least when you go to the masjid, put niqab on. Oh, I can't. My parents are against it. Okay. When you go to your parents, don't put the niqab on. How about the rest of your life? Put the niqab on, cover yourself. Once a female starts practicing, she realizes that Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't order anything impossible. Everything comes with training. You know? Everything comes with training. You try, wallahi. There was once a brother's sister, a brother's wife. Early days. He came, Sheikh, please come, you know, I want you to talk to my wife about niqab. These are early days. I said, brother, Allah, you talk to her. He goes, oh, Sheikh, I can't, she won't listen to me, this, that. This sister was very, very good, mashallah. So I sat behind the door. He took me to his house. I stood behind the door and I gave a similar talk. The sister, tabarakallah, after the talk, she put the niqab on straight away. Yes, she had only hijab. She put the niqab on instantly. And her husband came and told me 5 years later that his wife came and said this to him. She says to him, I don't know. I don't understand. I try to remember and I cannot understand. I can't comprehend how I used to show my face in public before. She can't understand. How was I at that stage and I was normal showing my face after 5 years in niqab? It's the fitrah of a female. It's the nature of a female to be covered. It's the nature of a female and it's the nature of a man that cares for his wife and doesn't want to share her with any other man. Doesn't want to share her beauty or attraction with any other man. He wants her for himself. He doesn't want to eat her for lunch or dinner. You know? So please, my brothers and my sisters, bare minimum is clan. Some women say this, niqab, no, I will never. This sister, uqsim billah, her deen is in danger. Some men, wal-iyadhu billah, women, his wife wants to put niqab on. He says no. Astaghfirullah al-azim ya Rabb. You know? These people are in danger. The minimum level of iman is, okay, it's a very important sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It's the way of the mothers of believers. It's the best thing. It's the dress code of Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Inshallah, I acknowledge my weakness. I acknowledge my sickness. And I'm going to work on it. And inshallah, I'm going to learn more about it. Encourage myself. I'm going to trial it here and there until I adapt and bring the sunnah of Muhammad ﷺ in my life. Especially this sunnah that protects society from fitna. Very, very important. And if you can't, if your wife can't, then at least save the kids that are, the fitrah is pure. They haven't been corrupted, you know. My daughter, alright, my wife alhamdulillah is in niqab. My daughter, some people, you know, they say, oh, how did you know? I don't think I ever in my life spoke to my daughters about niqab. I don't think so. Unless they, like this, or maybe attended the talk or something. I never sat down with any daughter and encouraged her to wear niqab. What happens? You know? Fitrah. Mom's in niqab. You know? Family is covered. The daughter, by 7, she's already in hijab, maybe earlier, and then straight away. By 9, 10, I'm telling you, by 9, 10, my wife had to ban my daughter from putting niqab on. She has to ban her. I'm not going to leave like that, I'm going to cover my face. No, you don't understand, docs will take you. I can't walk with a 10-year-old in niqab on the street. And as soon as she could, she put niqab on. No targheeb, no motivation, no. Why? It's just in line with the female fitrah. You just have to, you know, make your environment pro-niqab. And watch what happens. It's the fitrah of a female. But no, nowadays we want to leave our kids until they're 14. She's young, leave her, she's young, don't pressure her. Halla, she's going to be covered all her life. Let her have fun, let her wear nice clothes, let her wear this, let her wear that. And then you wake up one day, your daughter's 14, and you want to start having the conversation of hijab with her. Brother, you're 5, 6 years late. You should have started by your daughter seeing your wife at least. You know? So please, my brothers and my sisters, take this topic very seriously. It's very important in our deen. Don't take it lightly. study more, learn more, make dua, cry, that Allah puts the love of sunnah in your heart. جزاكم الله خير وبارك الله فيكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك.